Is Google picking your pocket? Will Samsung's Note fit in there? And all the legal news our little brains can understand. All that and more in this week's edition of... Welcome, I'm Justin Eckhouse alongside JMR Kabibi.
Hello, hello.
And special guest, Emily Dreyfuss.
Hello, guys. Hi.
Hey, thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
So we invited you on because you're awesome, but also because you have an Android phone.
Yes, that's true. That is a fact. I have a very old Android phone that is not even running Gingerbread, the first Incredible.
My past phone, I'm very familiar with it. Now, you had the same problem I have, which is you can't upgrade it because of this weird space issue or something?
Yeah, so it tried to give me Gingerbread, the over-the-air update, and I was very excited about it because I thought I was going to get all these other apps that I was missing and blah, blah, blah. And then what happened was that my phone didn't have enough. What I learned was that it was dialer storage, whatever that is, was taking all this space on my phone, and because of that, there was not enough room to update at all. But it took me like 2 months to figure that out, and it kept saying, you need to delete apps, you need to make room. So I offloaded all my photos, all my videos, and deleted basically every single app except for the apps that I need to live, like Pandora and Yelp and those ones.
Right.
So I had like 4 apps on my phone. Now it was not even a smartphone. It barely did anything, and it still wouldn't upgrade to Gingerbread. So I marched into Verizon, and then they explained to me this is a really common problem that Incredibles are having, and all Android phones actually will eventually have this guy claimed once you've had it long enough. I don't know if that was true or not. And that is that it stores all your dialer information, every phone call you've ever made, and that actually takes up all the storage. And it's not easy to access yourself when you go in to make room to get to the dialer storage. So he deleted it all. Since then, my phone I don't have half my phone numbers. Things are totally messed up, and I never got all the apps again that I was missing.
And you still didn't get Gingerbread.
And I still cannot get Gingerbread.
They actually have kind of solved this problem with Ice Cream Sandwich. So the problem is they sort of partition the storage into like this can only be used for apps, and this can only be used for data, and this can only be used for XYZ. And they have got rid of that in Ice Cream Sandwich.
Okay.
Which I think does solve that for a lot of people.
It was so annoying.
Yeah.
Because I actually have to check my work email all the time to see if breaking news is coming out and should I be putting it on the homepage. And when this was happening, when its dialer storage was full, it would not send me emails. It was like I was living in the dark ages. It was really frustrating and upsetting and terrible.
So what is your next phone?
So I'm really at an impasse. I don't know what to do because there are so many Android phones that I'm actually kind of overwhelmed about all the options. And I don't want to do what you did, which is get the Galaxy Nexus and then find out that a better one is coming out in 3 weeks.
But let me tell you the secret.
Okay.
That is always going to happen.
I know. So then I think, part of me is like, well, maybe I should just get a Windows phone because then I will be very contrarian. And then there won't be a better one coming out because they're only like 7.
You might be on the wrong show if you're...
You can start a new show. All right, well, maybe the news today will help you figure out which phone to buy.
Okay, yeah,
we're going to talk about some upcoming phones. Excuse me. So let's jump into the news here with Google Wallet, which I was very excited about. One of the reasons I bought my Galaxy Nexus because it has NFC and doesn't really come with Google Wallet because of screwed up. I don't want to get into it. It just makes me mad. But Google Wallet, great idea. Just swipe your phone to pay for stuff. I always want to use the NFC on my phone to get into the elevator in the morning here. I wish I didn't have to carry my key card around. I could just swipe this you guys know what I'm talking about. But you guys do.
Yeah, but we were talking about how if it was really going to replace your wallet, you need it to also do other things like have your driver's license on it.
Well, I don't have my driver's license on it, and I suspect if I took a picture of my driver's license and I got pulled over and I was like, hey, look, here it is. It's cool, right?
I swear.
That wouldn't work. But I do have this app called CardStar, which lets me, get all my loyalty cards into there. You, scan the barcode, and it stores those, and I use that all the time when I go to CVS or whatever because I hate those loyalty card programs. But anyway... Google Wallet, so there was actually 2 cracks/hacks that came out for Google Wallet. One was a very complicated way to crack the Google Wallet PIN, which, was not practical, but sort of just showed that it could be done. And second, which came out shortly after, was a way to get access to the prepaid card, which is tied to the phone and not necessarily to your account. So you could just go into the Google Wallet app, clear settings, and then it would prompt you to reset the PIN, and you could use the prepaid card that was in there. So it's not cool.
So dumb. How could they not have thought of that?
Whoops. Yeah. Yeah. No, it sucked. But they first, I'll say, a little bit kind of blamed users, and they were like, well, sure, but why don't you have a, passcode on your phone? If you had a passcode on your phone, then this wouldn't even be an issue. Which I will agree. I think everyone should have a passcode on their phone in general. But I think sort of.
But that's no excuse
Yeah,
for
exactly.
unsecuring the Google
Come
Wallet
on.
app.
Especially, yeah. I mean, they're dealing with your money. They need to be as secure as possible. And also, there's lots of problems with phone locks because you can trace the swipes of the fingerprints and see.
Right,
and
by
like
the grease on the phone.
Yeah, which
like
is
that.
gross but true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's definitely true. So they did act quickly, and they should have said, like, hey, if you have any issues, just call us. We'll fix this for you. I think like all credit cards, you're probably not liable for more than $50. But then they did, first they stopped issuing new prepaid credit cards for a while, and then they fixed the issue, and they have since re-enabled prepaid cards. I mean, the bigger issue with Google Wallet is currently you can only register one credit card, like Citibank, MasterCard, I think, which not everyone in the world has, or you have to use this prepaid sort of workaround where you get this prepaid MasterCard, which you have to load up with another card, which is just this long process that I'm sure most people, including myself, don't do. Also because the only way to get Google Wallet on the Galaxy Nexus, since you cannot download it from the market because Verizon doesn't want you to have it, is to download the APK separately. So maybe this hack doesn't even matter because no one's actually
no
using
one's getting it. Well, exactly. We were talking about this on Rumor Has It yesterday really quickly, just because actually Maggie Reardon was saying that maybe this hack is really portending the death knell of Google Wallet because no one's using it. It's not easy to access. And they had to take it offline to fix this. Who's using it besides you?
I don't know. I mean, I did it because I thought it was cool, and because they give you $10 free when you install it.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
So I can't resist free money. I think when Sprint comes out with their Galaxy Nexus, which will have the Google Wallet pre-installed or at least accessible, I don't know if it's pre-installed or not, that may change things. And as more NFC phones come out, it may change things. I don't know that Google Wallet will, win necessarily, but I think some wallet solution is going to win. I don't really care what it is.
Yeah.
It
just needs to be easy.
Yeah.
Because the whole point is exactly.
Right.
Yeah, so maybe the hacks like this are sort of the next step into improving these services.
All right, we'll wait and see what happens. So we're going to mix things up a little bit here, and we're going to take a quick break right now. And when we come back, we're going to talk about more Samsung stuff. Stick around.
A lot about Verizon's new 4G LTE. Well, you should be. It's Verizon's fastest, most reliable 4G network. With 4G LTE, you'll get speeds up to 10 times faster than 3G. So, what does that mean? Well, let's say you've got the new HTC Thunderbolt, or even the LG Vortex. You can hook up your HTC or your LG to your 4G LTE, and you'll have Verizon's 4G LTE in over 190 cities and 118 airports. So it's faster? Well, let's say you've got the new Droid Razr by Motorola, or the HTC Resound, or even the Samsung Galaxy Nexus. You're talking 4G LTE on almost our entire 3G footprint. One song, 4 seconds.
The song is 4 seconds?
One movie, 1 hour.
Download?
A 10 megabyte PowerPoint presentation in 15 seconds.
I really don't know what that means.
Are you a small business owner?
No, I live off a settlement.
You're a Native American.
Not on a settlement, off a settlement. I got clipped by a city bus.
Got it. Well, let's say you were starting a small business and you want to run the entire business from your smartphone.
Oh, I wouldn't want to do that.
Like your Droid Razr, your HTC Resound, or even your Samsung Galaxy Nexus.
That sounds terrible.
Here's your 3G network.
What?
Put it this way. If you want 4G LTE, then you have to buy a Droid Bionic, or a Samsung Stratus, or a Pantech Breakout, or a Compact Mini Netbook, or the Droid Zyborg tablet.
And what if I drop it in the toilet?
It breaks immediately.
Thanks.
Verizon. It's an old person's nightmare.
Oh, I love it. It's funny because it's true.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the issue we deal with all the time here is like when you're like, oh, my mom wants to know what phone I should buy. Most of us, even Android hardcores, are just like, just get an iPhone.
Yeah.
I can't explain this to you. It's too hard.
But then I did that. I recommended one of my like older friends get an iPhone, and then the other day she said, "Could you please write me an email with the step-by-step instructions of how to get one of my photos to Facebook?" And I was like, "It's really easy. Oh my god! I don't even have an iPhone, but I know it probably takes one click of one
Right?
button."
Isn't that just pre-integrated?
Yes.
Oh, I also love that they use all the real product names,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
yes.
They even got the worst name of the year in there, the Zyborg.
Oh, I hate that. The only reason they changed the name to the Zyborg is because they didn't want to call it the Zoom 2 because everyone had such bad associations with the Zoom.
Oh.
That's my take on it.
I didn't even realize that it was like the same as the Zoom.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty much is the Zoom 2. But it's the Zoom was so delayed and so underwhelming when it came out, and the SD card didn't work until, I don't know, 3 or 6 months after it came out, and 4G came out 6 months late for it, and it was a mess.
And it costs like $1,000 too.
So
Yeah.
it's faster?
I don't know. I think it's a Zyborg, which is good, right? Let's talk about some real products. The Samsung Galaxy Note. We took a look at this at CES. We actually had the guy from Samsung come on and demo it. And, the basic deal here is it's a big phone, first of all, right? 5.3-inch, not a tablet, phone, because it makes phone calls. But you can write on it, right? It has a stylus, a pen, the S Pen, and you can write on it because that's what you want to do with your phone, right?
And where does the stylus go? Does it
got
store
It's got a
inside?
little pocket in the back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about this before, and I am definitely very negative of this concept. I'm with Steve Jobs, who's like, you were born with the best stylus ever, your finger.
That's what she said.
Hey, maybe that flies on your show.
Sorry.
Anyway, generally, I feel like, yes, the great thing about Android, the Android ecosystem, is that if you want a phone with a pen, you can get that. I don't understand why you'd want that, but it's your choice.
Yeah, because there's a million choices. You can have every size, every color.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think the argument is that it's really just another mode of input. I mean, you can do all of the touchscreen things that you can do on a normal phone, but if you happen to get an app that supports, writing, then you've got the stylus or the S Pen.
Jessica Dahlquart brought it on to Dialed In yesterday, and she was actually showing how she was taking notes in meetings and stuff, and it looked kind of cool. I mean, when you take notes in a meeting, you're like sitting here trying to find the button, press the button. She was just scribbling stuff, so it was kind of neat like that.
That's cool.
Yeah.
You know what else does that? A pen and paper.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Just saying.
It's a lot cheaper, doesn't crash.
But can you email the paper?
Yeah, I
guess.
take a
You could
picture.
scan it.
Yeah.
Nobody scans anything
Nobody
anymore.
But I do.
take
I
a
take
picture with you.
pictures all the time, and like have whiteboards and stuff. She also says that in the review, the response is kind of delayed, which seems like if this is the core feature of the phone, is the drawing to have response delayed is kind of bad and requires some training.
Because I was going to say that would be fun for kids. Like if they're in the backseat of the car, you could give it to them and they could draw on it. But if there's a
Right.
delay and they have to learn how to use it,
Yeah.
it's
Deal
not
with
exactly
that.
intuitive.
Yeah, and I think in the review that she also posted a picture of the character recognition, which was not so great. So it tried to transcribe some of what she had written.
Right. I mean, this has always been the problem. I'm the guy who bought the $1,000 Newton when I was in college because I was like, Newton, it's so awesome. It's going to change the world. It was terrible. Waste of money. And then I had the Palm, which the only way it was usable, like instead of this is kind of my favorite solution ever. And instead of fixing the handwriting recognition, they just reinvented the alphabet. They just use graffiti.
Yeah, I
Use
remember that.
This is easier. Do you know about this? Graffiti.
No.
So it is basically a new alphabet that you had to learn that was way easier for Palm to recognize.
So they expected you to change the way you wrote.
Yeah.
Yep.
I had one of those too, and it had like a little lesson thing in it, or
Yeah.
it would show you like different moves you'd make to make different letters, and it
So
got
did you
really
did you guys
confusing.
actually?
I learned the whole thing,
Oh
and
my-
it worked great.
And you're still fluent in
It's been a couple of years.
in this.
They actually have a graffiti app for Android for all of those people who missed that. I don't know who those people are. Yeah, I don't want to reminisce more about technology and expose how old I am. So yeah, I mean, it's great that they have this, I think, for people who want it, but I wouldn't expect it to be sort of a breakaway success.
I mean, it's just also alienating for people like me who have tiny little hands. I could never get that phone.
Because you can't hold
Could
a pencil.
barely hold the pen. The
the
phone.
size of the phone.
The size of the phone.
Yeah.
Like if I couldn't reach around and get the buttons. It's just no. It's not gonna work for me.
How are your pockets though? Do you have
Also too small.
also too small.
Yeah.
Well, then you will not want to get the 10.1-inch version of this either.
No. I certainly will not.
So there's rumors that at Mobile World Congress, Samsung will release a 10.1-inch version. And to be fair, it's not a phone, it's a tablet, which makes a little more sense to me. Like I could see drawing on a tablet. It's a lot of space. That could be cool or fun.
Yeah, and graphic designers could use it if you're thinking about professional people.
Right.
Professional people, unless unlike us. I don't know. what we
I
are.
don't draw professionally.
You don't write your headlines.
Sorry.
I like the artwork in this post here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's very well done.
that is about the level that my artistic skills are at. So I don't know. I would expect the tablet to do better than the phone. The problem with all of these sort of technologies that are really just sort of based on one manufacturer, like there was the dual screen Kyocera Echo stuff, is that developers probably won't get wide support from developers. I mean, I think when you have these special features, you need a bunch of apps to take advantage of them. And if it's only on Samsung phones or it's only on LG phones or whatever, then you kind of struggle to get that mass adoption from the developer community.
Yeah, unless you could build it in such a way that it actually could just kind of work with already existing apps, and the apps
Right.
don't have to change. But what can you really do with a stylus on
Play
existing apps?
Angry Birds.
Oh yeah,
The main,
Ninja.
exactly. Yeah, Fruit Ninja. That'd be good.
That's
That
a good
would
one
be
for
good,
stylus.
yeah.
We are solving problems here.
A sword-shaped stylus, I think, would do good for that.
There's a market for that. You should make that, J-Mark.
Heard here first. All right. Well, we're not going to stop talking about Samsung because they're just so cool and interesting. They have released, or unveiled, I should say, it's not out yet, the Samsung Galaxy Tab 2, which is a follow-up to you'll guess this, the Samsung Galaxy Tab 1, 7-inch tablet, which we have here. I played with a bunch. I'm not a big fan of. But the Tab 2 is basically, everything you would expect: faster, Android 4.0, 3G, Wi-Fi. You can get a Wi-Fi only version. Blah blah blah. We're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the price because that is what I find interesting. The price is high. It is. I don't mean high.
I really love how you just said that in a higher tone of voice. It's hi.
Reportedly, right?
Reportedly, yes. This is thanks for keeping me journalistically in check here. The Wi-Fi only version is rumored to be $419 to $450, and the Wi-Fi plus 3G is rumored to be $523 to $568. That's the price across several European countries, so we don't know what the U.S. one will be necessarily, or if these are real. But my question is, a 7-inch tablet starting at around $420.
What?
When you compare that to the Kindle Fire at $199, I mean,
Yeah, and the iPad, which is bigger and is only $50 more,
Right.
or $80.
right? Yes. So does this make any sense at all?
No.
Okay.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here, folks, and say no.
Why would they do this? Please say this isn't true, Samsung.
Does
Please
it have a better screen? Is that part of the rumor?
It does say that it's got a pretty good screen.
Right. I mean, I think it is higher res. I mean, it certainly can come. It's comes in models from 8 gigs to 32 gigs, so it has more memory. It's faster. But if you think, yeah, I mean, it can come in 3G if you want, but the Wi-Fi only one starts at 419.
Jeez.
Reportedly. So the question is, what do you do with your tablet? Like, if you're just watching movies, reading books, checking email, why would you spend more than $199 when the Fire does all that?
Exactly, especially when it says that it boasts that it's going to have the video hub, which will have over 1,000 films. But like Amazon has way more than that.
Right.
1,000. Amazon has unlimited, and like if you're part of Prime, you have the free ones. I mean,
yeah, no, exactly.
you can't compete.
I mean, I guess if you want to use your own media, I think it's probably better for streaming off of your own servers or doing all sorts of illicit stuff. But
Oh, so they're marketing this for criminals.
it could be.
Another niche.
Yeah, I mean, Samsung could be argued to be a criminal by some people.
Apple.
So I don't know. This doesn't make any sense to me. Unless, for a small set of use cases, if you're a gamer and you just need a high-powered tablet, or I don't know, you're recalculating 100,000 cell spreadsheets on your 7-inch tablet, then you're doing it wrong to start with. But I guess you want a faster one.
But again, these are just reported prices from a blog called Sammy's Hub.
Are you saying that's not credible?
I'm not saying anything. I'm just, you can go to your own conclusions from there.
It's not like from LG Hub, LGE Hub, LGT. Okay, I just screwed that up.
You mean Lucky Gold Star Hub?
Lucky Gold Star Hub B. Let's move on to our last Samsung story of the day.
Oh my goodness.
Is it?
Wow.
I think it is.
Yes, I believe so.
Actually, I think there's a little tidbit coming up, but forget I said that. So what are we talking about here? Oh, legal battle. So none of us are lawyers. Let's just preface the story with that.
Yeah.
And nor do we normally know what we're talking about.
Nor
in
did we
anything.
consult a lawyer in preparing for this.
Right.
But we do know how to read. Each of us does know how to read.
That is up for debate.
That's true.
Okay.
You
And
speak
we
for
can
yourself.
use Google Translate, sort of.
So a couple things here. We've been talking about the ongoing legal battle with Samsung and Apple for 2 decades now. The latest is the Samsung Galaxy Tab 10.1 was banned in Germany because they say it infringed on Apple, and Apple's been fighting this, in every country around the world that it's for sale, and it seems. So Samsung modified the Samsung Galaxy 10.1 and released the 10.1N, which I guess was different enough that it cleared the German courts and is now going to be available for sale in Germany. So good job, Samsung. Except, as we reported last week, or possibly 2 weeks ago, the European Union Commission, European Union's European Commission. That's a little repetitive.
Yeah, that doesn't seem. I'm going to Google it.
So not the European Union's American Commission.
No,
Okay.
no, not at all.
Just to be clear.
Yes, thanks for clarifying that. Announced they have launched a formal investigation into whether Samsung has used its wireless patents in an anti-competitive way, and this, potentially is related to the Apple story we talked about last week, where Apple was forced to take down any of their devices. I guess no, this is not related. It's related in that Motorola had forced them to take down their devices because they had patents on 3G, and so Apple had to take down the 3G stuff, and then they had to license it from Motorola. And I think Samsung. It's a sort of back and forth between like, we own this 10% of your product and you own this 10% of our product, and it makes my head spin.
Maybe it is related because it's to do with the licensing. Like
Right.
Motorola got the Apple products taken off, but then the rule is that you have to license the technology, so they did it, and then Apple got their products back. And now this story is about how Samsung is in violation of the licensing rules.
I appreciate you making me misspoke and actually accurate now. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I think she's right.
Also, I looked up what the European Union's European Commission is, and it's not a typo. It is actually just, it's called the European Commission, is their legislative arm of the European Union.
The European Union.
The EU.
EU. So, yeah, I mean, I think this is going to be continuing back and forth. We talked about Australia last week. I think there's a new claims filed by Apple against Samsung in the U.S. this week. It is going to never end.
No.
But, at least we'll have something to talk about every week. All right. So we're going to take a real break this time, and we'll be back talking about some magic apps.
Android Atlas. Android Atlas.
Welcome back. Have you guys ever taken a picture and then looked at it later and been like, who is that guy in the background?
Almost every single picture I take.
Or have you ever been that guy? You're just walking down the street minding your own business and you realize you just walked through someone's picture.
I absolutely try to be that guy.
You're photobombing them.
Yeah, I normally do that, and then I go up to them and say, did you want me to autograph that? Okay.
Because they think you're David Duchovny.
They do. That happens all the time. I don't know why. I don't try to promote that. Anyway, so there is this app or technology from a company called Scalado that lets you sort of take a picture, and we're going to roll a little video demo for those of you on the video version of, in this case, your lovely girlfriend standing there with weird people walking by, and then after the fact, remove those weird people from the photo to expose the background.
I
love that.
So awesome.
It's so awesome and almost a little unbelievable.
Totally.
Is this real?
It's like when there was that ad or that video online of the guy with his phone in Times Square, and he would put it up to the big screens in Times Square, and suddenly what was on the screen would be from his phone.
Yeah.
And there was this big video, and everyone was like, that's so cool. I can't wait for that to come out. How's it working? And then it was just a hoax.
Just fake, yes.
But maybe this is real.
Well, there's a company behind it.
Yeah.
That's not nothing.
And
That's a good start.
they produced a video promoting it. So we don't have details about when this is going to come out. There's some rumors saying they will announce something at Mobile World Congress, which is next week? It's like February 27th or something like that.
Yeah.
So
In
stay.
España.
So they're supposed to demo it, but they say that it may not even come out to the Android market. It may just come pre-installed on certain devices.
Oh, right.
Reportedly.
Anyway, I want this. So get it for me.
What's it called? Oh,
Scalado.
Right.
Scalado.
All right. So
mouthful.
next up, we are going to talk about, following on the sort of Barcelona Mobile World Congress theme, what interesting devices we might see out of there. And generally, we don't like to, go into the nuts and bolts of every little piece of hardware, but there's some interesting things. HTC, for example, is set to release the HTC Quattro, which, to no surprise, is a quad-core tablet with 1 gig of RAM and ice cream sandwich. So good job there, guys. And then Emily's favorite company, Lucky Gold Star.
No, that's not a grocery store, guys. That is LG. Turns out.
Lucky Gold Star is either that or it's like a pet food, like a pet store.
Yeah, where you can get stuff for your goldfish.
Exactly.
Your goldfish food.
Yes.
I just had no idea that LG stood for Lucky Gold Star. It blew my mind.
Yeah. And LG's a Korean company, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and we tried to translate this to see how it was spoken, and it turns out in Korean, at least according to Google Translate,
Which isn't always right.
It's pronounced Lucky Gold Star, except with a better accent than that.
Lucky a gold star.
There you go. Anyway, so Lucky Gold Star is theoretically or rumored to be releasing the LG Optimus View, which is kind of interesting because it is, again, a 5-inch screen.
Aye.
We keep seeing these bigger screens, which I'm not a fan of. I mean, mine is big, but it's actually too big for me. 5-inch screen, 1024 by 768 resolution, and an unorthodox 4:3 aspect ratio. So, way to go. The unorthodox route there, LG.
Interesting.
I wish LG would have a great smartphone. I have very fond feelings about LG because I used to have LG flip phones, and they were always made so well and beautifully. And then I feel like once everyone's made the switch to smartphones, they haven't had a hit ever.
I think that's true. Maybe this Optimus View will be it. It'll
Maybe.
surprise us. Anyway, the 4:3 aspect ratio is maybe good for general usage, but not great for watching movies and TV, which is, all 16:9.
And this phone's supposed to have gingerbread, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe. That would suck.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Don't release any more phones that are gingerbread.
You hear
That's
that, Lucky
stupid.
Gold Star?
Yes.
You hear that?
Listen to me.
Especially because we've been talking about ice cream sandwich for so long now, and it's not even out on that many devices, and I'm already totally sick of it. I want the next one.
You know what the next one?
Jelly
Yeah, exactly,
Jelly
jelly bean.
I think you need to get yourself to gingerbread first. Right?
That's true. What am I on? Cupcake? What was it called?
Honeycomb? Is it
Honeycomb. Oi.
No, honeycomb is 3.
Oh yeah, and that's for tablets.
Yeah, you're, I don't know.
I don't either.
We'll get back to you on that.
Froyo.
There you go.
yeah.
Oh
Froyo.
God.
All right, so Samsung, I know I said I wasn't going to talk about that anymore, but it looks like they have delayed the Galaxy S3, which is kind of a bummer because that looked like a cool phone. But
Tell us, Justin. Tell
they
us.
might release the Samsung Galaxy S Plus, which is a faster version of the Galaxy Nexus, because they just want to piss off all the people who just bought this phone.
Okay,
Don't do this.
but one thing I would just point out to you is, isn't your phone already blazingly fast? Were you not showing off to me how amazingly fast it is? So you're content.
It could be faster. Actually, I won't really care about it if it's faster, but if they come out with a phone whose battery actually lasts through the day,
Yeah.
I will be pissed. You hear that? Pissed.
Is that a lion? Because it sounds like a Rottweiler.
That is a very upset
Justin.
Justin.
Yes, exactly. Anyway, you will see what happens here. I don't have many complaints except for the battery about my phone, and it has rebooted by itself a couple times, which is never a good thing to see from your phone. Yeah, I mean, they did this with the Razer Max too, which was also stupid.
Yeah.
All right, let's wrap things up here with a quick story about the what is this? Google Rolla? Is that what we're calling this?
Google Rolla.
Google Rolla?
It sounds like a fruit roll up or a Tootsie Roll.
Google Rolla. I made them last night. But they're vegan, so it's okay.
And celebratory for Valentine's Day.
Right. So the Google Motorola merger has been approved finally by the US and Europe, which, according to this story, since all the other countries just do whatever we tell them, is basically going to wrap this deal up. So China, Israel, and Taiwan do have to approve it, but they are expected to just follow suit. So we will see all kinds of crazy Google Rolla things as a result of this, I guess. I don't know. Good? Bad?
World domination?
Yes.
I don't know. What will happen? What does it mean?
I think that Motorola, I mean, they keep saying there's going to be this firewall between the two, but I don't buy into that. I think that that's not true, and that Motorola is going to start making the Galaxy, the Nexus phones, and that, I almost hope for better integration between the OS and the hardware.
Yeah, well, isn't that the whole point?
Well, I think the point, it depends how you look at it, but I think the point is patents. I think that it really was a patent play and not a hardware play. But I don't see how they could be. I mean, once you buy it, you're like, oh, look, this company actually makes good phones. They made the original Droid, and, they make the Zyborg. Who can
That's
turn
what
their
can't
nose
go
down on the
wrong.
Zyborg? Yeah. They say they won't. I say they will. I think one of my predictions for this year actually had to do with that. And it was on the, I don't believe Google front. All right. We have a lot of emails. Should we just jump to email?
Sure.
Is that cool?
Let's do it.
All right. First one is from Roy, who says, on last week's show, you mentioned problems with fragmentation. However, you only mentioned software issues, such as OS and custom overlays. I, being a Samsung Moment owner, rooted, of course, know that fragmentation on hardware is a far greater problem with Android. Ultimately, the internal components of the individual phones hinder Android developers. I know my phone is way out of date hardware-wise, but many others don't have dual-core processors, dedicated graphics chips, blah, 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 blah. So he's basically saying it's difficult to write an app when you have to support 10,000 different CPUs, speeds, and types, and hardware. And we were kind of talking about this before in terms of the Samsung Note and the Kyocera Echo, And yes, I think this is definitely an issue compared to sort of other OSs or sort of other platforms like iPhone where there's, 4 phones, right, that you have to support. And there are changes, but supporting 4 changes compared to 20 million is different. So I agree, Roy. Right. Let's see what's next here. Oh, this is from Kevin. Great show, and welcome to the new co-hosts. I guess that's you.
I think that's me.
Maybe he didn't know how to pronounce your name.
It's a difficult one.
The new co-host.
Jamar, that is. I noticed in last week's show there's no mention of Google's new privacy policy. Is this a new policy going to affect any of Google's services on Android? Are they going to be used? He basically says we didn't address it. And he's right. We didn't address it in last week's show, but I think we addressed it 3 weeks ago. So go back 3 weeks and listen to that. Is there an ad blocker for non-rooted devices, such as a browser ad blocking plugin? I personally use AdBlock Plus. Blah, 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 blah. I don't know, but all of our paychecks are paid by ads. So
please watch them.
Yeah. I can't help you with that. But, let us know what you find out. If you want to steal money directly from the 3 of us. That's all I'm saying. And then lastly, Kevin says, an app that the show hasn't mentioned yet is Google Currents. It has a really slick magazine-like interface, and CNET News is one of the included publications. Not sure if this is tablet only. I only have an Android tablet at the moment, no phone.
It is not tablet only.
It's not tablet only. That's true. I think we may have talked about it at some point. But yeah, my team actually manages our relationship with Google Currents, and we spend a lot of time making it look good there. And I think it's on, not just Android phones and tablets, but also iOS devices. And, check it out. Great show. Look forward to hearing your input from the new co-hosts in the future.
JMR.
JMR, there you go. We had talked about Google Voice, was it last week, and how I wanted to make phone calls over Wi-Fi or VoIP calls with Google Voice, and I was mad about that. And we got a couple emails, including this one from LD, who I can only assume is Larry David. Isn't that the obvious assumption here?
Yes. I like to imagine him writing into podcasts. So. That would be pretty great.
Yes, Larry David, if you'd like to come on as a guest on the show, just send us another email and we'll make that happen. But he suggests SipDroid, SipML, and a couple other things to sort of make VoIP work on your phone, which I definitely heard of, but I also read that Google didn't want you to do this, and they may shut down your account if you sort of use these ways to subvert them and use VoIP calling. So anyone who does do this, do it at your own risk. And he sort of speculates that maybe it's an FCC thing, why they don't do it. I don't actually think it's an FCC thing. I think Google just doesn't want to piss off all the phone carriers by saying, hey, we gave everyone a way to make phone calls and not use your service.
Yeah.
Love the show. Thanks, Larry. All right. The next one is from Stephen Colbert.
Yes. You guys have really made it. That means.
I know. It's awesome. So, Stephen Colbert, I'd like to be on your show. I don't want you on my show. So just keep that in mind.
You need the Colbert bump.
I do. I think it'd really help out. Love the show and just wanted to add my 2 cents. I'm a retail consultant.
What?
I didn't know you had 2 jobs at Sprint and had to solve this for a lot of customers who got the Nexus S 4G. Gingerbread and later vanilla Android does not support Facebook Sync. It was removed from the OS and it only supports Twitter now. We talked about this last week because someone asked about this, and Google had sort of banned them because Facebook violates the terms of service for how you're allowed to sync or something like that.
What?
Yeah, it's lame. Probably a privacy policy thing from Facebook or Google. It was also an awful experience for most users because Facebook sucks on mobile. True. Mm-hmm. For real. Not to say you can't sync, though, several apps. Sync pictures and contacts. These are like third-party apps. But other than that, you can only sync with Sense, which does a pretty good job, as maybe you've experienced on your phone. And I believe TouchWiz. I don't know about Blur, but frankly, I doubt anyone cares. Love the show and keep the Android news coming. Stephen Colbert.
The thing is, I gotta say, I know Stephen Colbert has an iPhone.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a big iPhone fan.
Well, secretly he has Android.
Maybe. That's
what
possible.
I choose to believe.
That was like when Ryan Seacrest went on some keynote to talk about some certain phone.
Our
but then,
former coworker Ryan Seacrest.
Exactly. But then he had actually revealed that he uses BlackBerry by sending a tweet right beforehand on BlackBerry. Or maybe that was his manager sending a tweet on his behalf from his BlackBerry.
Interesting.
Either way, someone was lying.
Yeah. Search for CNET TV Classic if you want to see Ryan Seacrest on CNET TV.
I've never watched it. I want to
You
see.
should check it out. All right. Why don't you read this next email, Jamar?
Okay, this next one's from Mark. It says, I've noticed that Jamar has a soft voice, which is not a problem in and of itself, but he compounds the problem by frequently maintaining a large distance between himself and the microphone. Mark, I have no idea what you're talking about. Thank you for your feedback, but I think I got it all under control over here. So, no, but really, thank you, Mark.
There
Awesome.
really is a problem in here with the microphones where when you get the appropriate distance here, if you then turn to gesticulate, you hit your face.
Yeah,
I hit my
just did
nose.
that.
Exactly.
I just did that.
It's really a problem. It's kind of dangerous.
I helped a little there. Yeah, thanks for your email. All right. I think last one here from Bill. I am a couple episodes behind. What is the deal with that, Bill? Really?
Catch up. Bill.
Keep up. Yeah, come on. But I've been hearing recently about Justin's comment on battery life of his Galaxy Nexus. But do I complain about that much? It doesn't seem like that. I also bought one the other day when they were released and got the extended battery. The current version of Ice Cream Sandwich is 4.0.2. Since that version was released, Google has updated the sort of open source code to 4.0.3 with several fixes in order to get he basically says 4.03 hasn't been released, as an over-the-air update to the phone. However, he rooted his phone and installed a new ROM that does have 4.0.3, and that he sort of saw a massive increase in the battery savings. What I'm trying to say here, efficiency, I think is the word, and that he went from sort of getting like 6 hours to, what does he say, 17 hours of use per charge, which is huge, right? So it's true. I don't know. I feel I have rooted my phone in the past and put on new ROMs, but I always feel like it's a struggle, and that for right now I'm just staying with stock. But I will be excited when they actually release this, because if they could just fix that battery life issue or like increase it by 2 or 3-fold in software, that'd be amazing, and make me less angry about the Galaxy S Plus. All right, that is our show for today.
Thank you guys so much for having me on. I had such a great time.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thanks for coming on. We will have you back, no doubt.
Thank you when I get a new phone or when I root mine and make it work better.
Yes, I look forward to seeing that. Maybe you can root it on air. We did in one of our early shows. We actually had Darren Kitchen on, and he rooted his phone on the air. And I think maybe that Antoine did it at one point as well.
Yeah.
I mean, I actually would love that, because if I have to root it myself, I'm going to be an idiot about it. And so if I'm here in the loving, supporting, helping hands of you guys, you can help me do it.
Yeah. All right. There is a one-click root for The Incredible. It's one of the easiest phones to root. I will tell you that.
See, I needed that. I didn't know that.
Ta-da. Helping people every day here. If you'd like to learn more about Android, you can follow our blog, cnet.com/AndroidAtlas, or watch us every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Pacific, cnet.com/live. Email is androidatlas@cnet.com. You can follow the show on Twitter at AndroidAtlas. I guess we haven't updated this. It says Antoine. You can follow Jamar at JamarKhabibi on Twitter. You can follow Emily
At Emily Dreyfuss. Very easy.
You can follow me, Justin, at Not My Real Name. Our phone number is 866-344-CNET. That's 866-344-2638. And that is all for us this week. We'll see you later.
Android Atlas.